There is a shoe company whose newest models are impossible to get. They are sold out online, they're out of stock in stores, and that is something that we look for when it comes to investing. The company is On Running Shoes. They're out of Switzerland. They've been around for about 10 years, but their stock hit the New York Stock Exchange a little under a year ago. On Holdings AG, ticker symbol ONON. We've talked about them a few times on the channel. CNBC calls them one of the fastest growing shoe companies in the world. Runner's World says they're one of the biggest innovators in the shoe game. Originally, they were the shoe for minimalist marathon runners, but they've been gaining broad appeal. And they're one of those brands that once you try them, you become a fan of theirs and you tell your friends about them. Roger Federer did a collab with them, and he's now an investor. We've been off and on investors, and we're considering right now becoming a big investor again. Today on Dumb Money, we'll tell you what we're seeing and how we're investing in the sold out shoe company. We are Dumb Money.
Three friends who turned $30,000 into $30 million using nothing more than Twitter and a zero commission trading account.
The suits that work on Wall Street, they call those people the smart money. That's not us.
Our goal is to help level the playing field for everyday investors.
We are Dumb Money.
Hey there, Dave here, along with Chris and Jordan. We are Dumb Money. Welcome to Dumb Money Live. Before we talk about On Running Shoes, I do want to talk about the other shoe company that we talk a lot about here on Dumb Money, Crocs. The ugly rubber shoe company is also now the parent company to my favorite shoes, Hey Dudes. Their earnings were released this morning. Stock had been up more than 60% since its bottom back in June, but down this morning. Even though they beat earnings, they lowered their full year guidance. And yesterday, you may have seen an article on Benzinga from Chris Camillo, or from them, quoting Chris extensively. The headline of the article was Crocs could be the number one opportunity in retail. Here's what social arb investor Chris Camillo has to say. So, Chris, this morning, I do want to hear your thoughts briefly before we talk about On. Let's talk about Crocs.
Yeah, so Dave, I'm here in New York. I've been in New York all week for our ice cream shop opening, and I'm just a few blocks away from the On Running flagship store here in Manhattan. I did listen to the conference call this morning for Crocs. I wasn't actually that surprised that they lowered earnings guidance. Revenue looks like it will continue to be exceptionally strong, but like any other company out there right now in retail, they're seeing a little bit of pricing pressure, right? So their margins are getting hit a little bit in this environment, in this inflationary environment, where they're having to expedite product. Their costs are going up just a bit. It's really not much of a change. But this stock has been on such a tear, guys. For Crocs to have stayed at this level or gone up today, that earnings report had to be a complete and utter blowout in every metric. We know that, right? In this environment, for a stock to go up the way Crocs has gone up, and man, has this stock gone up in the past few weeks, right? I'm not surprised to see the pullback today. That said, I will say this. The market is going to be looking at this next quarter in Crocs for back to school. They said they had some new innovations, some new products coming out this next season. So I'm going to keep a close eye on those. I am not doubling down on Crocs, but I'm not selling my Crocs. I'm going to hold my Crocs position right now. I feel really good about it. They're going to earn $10 a share this year. They're trading in the upper 60s. I like that multiple, okay? I don't see a lot of downside in Crocs over the next 1 or 2 quarters in terms of sales performance of their products. I think if you listen to the earnings call, what they told you guys is that Hey Dudes is literally nothing but an expansion of distribution. One of the analysts asked, he said, okay, you got in some new stores with Hey Dudes. I think they got them into like Famous Footwear and a couple other retailers. They're like, is there more expansion of distribution? And Crocs came out and responded to that question by saying, hey, we have very limited styles in those stores that we expanded in, and we are only in a handful of their door fronts right now. So they said we haven't even really scratched the surface yet on expanding distribution for Hey Dudes. That is exactly what I wanted to hear. And what that tells us, guys, is that all they need to do to continue to expand the Hey Dudes revenue is simply get those shoes into more stores and get more styles into the stores that they're already in. This is nothing crazy. We don't need like a huge uptick in demand for Hey Dudes. We just need them to get Hey Dudes into more areas, into more stores for more people to see them. They're getting them into Dick's Sporting Goods. They're getting them into what's the other big sporting goods company, Jordan? The other big sporting goods store.
Oh my
I
gosh,
forget.
I just blanked.
You know,
But
I
I'll
blanked
tell
on
you
it too.
what, I see more Hey Dudes on people nowadays than any other shoe. I mean, I every time I go somewhere, I see other dads and they're wearing Hey Dudes, and I'm always like surprised at how many times I see them every day.
Yeah, I'm really comfortable, guys, with the Hey Dude story the next couple quarters. On Crocs, I just need to watch it really closely. So stay tuned to Dumb Money. Follow my Twitter account. I'm going to be pulling, data every couple of weeks on Crocs. And if I start to see things fall apart for back to school, I might level off my position. But if I see them start to crush it for back to school, I just might double down Crocs between now and next earnings. I haven't made the decision yet, but we'll have an episode between now and next earnings on Crocs.
And some of the things that affects Crocs, like supply chain and retail, that could also affect on running. On ticker symbol. So
Uh,
what do we learn from Crocs that might apply to on?
okay, so Dave, I was in the flagship store for On Running. That's where we nice
That's where
thumbnail,
the
by the way.
thumbnail came
That's the
from.
photo. That's the photo I sent Dave and Jordan. And Jordan, I did buy that exact colorway. Do you like it with the red on there?
Dude, that colorway is awesome. I've got my colorway. I've got them right here. By the way, I'm jealous of other people's colorways because mine are kind of boring. Yeah, they're just kind of like gray
Dude,
and
that
white. You
white.
can't really see them that well, but they're okay. I want like
I
a
Now,
better, bolder colorway, and yours is
uh,
the white
great.
on white is pretty
no.
hot. And if you remember when they came out with that limited edition Moon edition for the anniversary of the moon landing, that's where their first foray into like collectibles came in, and they sold out like immediately. That was basically white on
Yeah.
white with gold.
So Jordan, what I was going to say is, if you're sitting in the on running store on Lafayette, what you will hear over and over and over again is, "We get shipments on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We get shipments on Tuesdays and Thursdays," and like they're like, "Sorry, those are sold out. Sorry, we haven't had those in 5 months. No, we don't have that colorway."
Yeah.
The white colorway is the hottest colorway right now for on running, and like it's exceptionally hard to get. And in fact, I think one of the images I sent you guys the other day, which was from the On Running website, was their white, full white, one of their shoes, completely sold out for women in every single size. So yes, you can get On Running shoes. It's not like they're all sold out. They have so many different models and so many different colorways. You can absolutely buy them, but some of the ones that everyone wants are just selling like hotcakes, and you just can't get them. They sell out so quickly. But I will say this, guys. I've been monitoring TikTok. Like, that's my primary go-to right now is TikTok comments. So I've seen just a huge number of TikTok videos on running, and I've really been diving into the comments. And the thing that we're continuing to see on this shoe brand is obsession. People are completely obsessed. They have a cult vibe going on with this brand. Once they start wearing the shoe, not everybody loves it, but the people that love it want nothing else but it. You feel like they're never going to wear anything but on running for the next 10 years. It's like all they can do is talk about on running, and they can't wait to get their next pair. And like they just are obsessed with it, guys. Like this is one of those brands that is really special. And my big, concern in the past was it was like this southern brand that exploded out of some of these southern states, big in Mississippi, big in Arkansas, getting big in Texas
And we
now,
saw the
right?
same. We
So I was
saw
like,
that
can
on
this
Google Trends charts. We saw the regionalization of that in the U.S. as the company was just starting to really take hold. It was very centrally located in a handful of southern college school states, right?
Yeah, but now that they opened up this flagship in New York in 2020 during the pandemic, which didn't really count because no one was doing anything in New York, New York is dead. New York is slowly starting to come alive. I asked these guys, I was like, "So how's this store doing?" And they are like, "Are New Yorkers getting this brand?" And they were laughing. They're like, "Dude, it is so insane. They have line queues out the door, and like I'm walking around downtown, East Village, NoHo, where our shop is, Soho." And I'm seeing people wearing on running all over the place. I'm telling you, this trend is going to hit, I think, in every demographic, because if it's flying in New York, the way that it was flying in Mississippi, there's no way it's not going to fly in California. It's not going to fly in Chicago. It's not going to fly everywhere, guys.
Yeah.
I'm starting to have conviction that this is going to become a monster global brand. I really do. So I bought it, but on the negative side, guys, we have the same concern as Crocs. They have earnings in a couple weeks, right? I think it's like August 17th. To what degree are they going to get slaughtered on their increase in cost? This is a company that I think already came out last quarter and said sales were flying, right? No negatives on the sales front, but they were getting hit on inventory. I think they took a margins hit. Is that going to continue this quarter? Because unlike Crocs, it trades at like a 6.5 PE. This company is still, even after getting that haircut, Dave, it's got a little multiple on it, right? I mean, this is
Well,
not
I
like
don't even
Wall
know if
Street
they
is
got
doubting.
earnings, Chris. Do they have earnings, or are they still like an unprofitable company? I didn't think they had earnings.
Are right on the coming profit. They are like right there. They are so close to profitability. They're going to hit
But I mean, so
profitability
yeah, I
here
mean,
this
so
next year.
they're profitable quarter by quarter basis. Like they could post and have no earnings. I mean, so those are the types of stocks that I'm worried about right now because they get smoked.
Uh,
People want earnings right now.
Jordan,
Look, the other problem is that we're sitting at the top, I think, of a big bear market bounce. I could be wrong about that, but they've already come back a
uh,
little bit. I'm worried about the whole
true,
market. So this
true.
is not something that I'm going to be
So,
playing around with right now.
so, so Jordan, I'll tell you my feelings on running. I took a position. I've been watching it closely. I
Yeah,
took a position this last week. It's not a huge position. I want to own more, but I'm not
yeah.
like in a hurry to like pounce all in. I mean, I have a fairly conservative take on the market in general. I don't have any conviction on the macro parts of this market over the next couple quarters. The recession might really come in strong in the next few months, or it might not. I've never felt less conviction when it comes to macro in the market. So I don't have any like high conviction takes right now. As good as it's going to get is medium conviction because of the macro environment, right? I do want to own on running. I feel like it's a stock that I have to own now. That said, I kind of hope it drops this quarter, like
Yeah.
Crocs did. I kind of hope that when they come out in a couple weeks that they have margin issues. I hope they lower the guidance like Crocs did because of cost. I have absolute confidence that On Running is going to come out with really good top line revenue numbers, and I think they're going to have really decent guidance when it comes to revenue. But on the profit side with cost, I mean that's a huge question mark. I would love to buy more On Running 20% lower, 25% lower.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a chance we get there too. Just from what the market's done in the past, I mean, really 40 days, we've had a heck of a rally. And so I don't know if this is the time to buy it, but I agree with you. I think they're a great company. They've got a great management team. They're hot. Everybody wants a pair or more than a pair of Ons. They're a little bit more expensive, which I think works for them. In that these are the people that buy them tend to be the people that are getting the least squeezed by gas prices and things like that right now. But people's
Agreed.
stocks starting taking a hit, are they going to start pulling back on retail sales? I don't know. And so I want to own it, but this is not my time.
And they did
I
beat
feel,
earnings
Jordan,
estimates last quarter. They were expected to lose 9 cents. They came in ahead. This is the first quarter that the analysts are actually expecting earnings. Not much, like
Okay.
3 cents a share, but that's that could be that's a risk factor for me if they don't hit that number. That for the first time they're expecting to actually have a profit, right?
you're right. I mean, there's absolutely risk in the short run with this stock, right? Going into the quarter in this environment. That said, there's no way I'm not going to own any. No way. I've seen enough, guys. When I put that pair on, I finally realized what everyone was saying in the comments of all those TikTok videos. It is a truly differentiated feel.
Was
The
that your
shoe
first
feels
pair of On shoes that you bought? Really? Okay.
my
So you're late to
first
the
pair
game.
because honestly, and listen, guys, I'll tell you right now, I'm a shoe guy. I'm not into the on brand running brand, honestly. Like it's not my thing. It's not my thing. But if I'm buying the stock, if I'm buying, low to mid six figures of the stock, I'm going to own a pair of shoes, right? And so I do want to start to experience them firsthand, and I did really like the fit. Style wise, it just feels to me like one of these brands where like it's like the Lululemon, where I kind of like the clothes, but the brand as a guy, I know you love the brand as a guy, Jordan, but I just don't. I don't know, man. I just feel like it's weird. Like it's a lady brand, or it's just like a brand for like rich people or wealthy people, and like I don't like that stuff. I don't like brands that are like, oh, all like the wealthy people are wearing it. Like that kind of turns me off personally. But I know that mass consumers love that, right? So even though
No,
it
so what I
turns me
think is
off,
that this is like one of those attainable type brands to where it's high end, but it's not ridiculous, like a Balenciaga or something like that. Like it's, and you can get a pair on sale on Amazon. And so look, I think it's fine. I also wear Lulu shorts because they last forever. I literally have a pair. No, I've got like 3 or 4 pair of Lulu shorts that are like 7 years old that I still wear every day.
yeah, yeah.
And so,
I
like,
mean, they make good
my
clothes, right?
ROI for certain types of, if it's quality, I think it's worth spending the money on.
Well, honestly, guys, like this is a brand for me that I have some negative bias on. Like, it's not a brand that appeals to me, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, you got to take your bias away from it, and like other people absolutely are obsessed with this brand and the feel, and they think it's like the highest tech running shoe ever. And like, I don't buy into any of that stuff, but I don't know. Like, people either love it or hate it in terms of like when they're running. Some people are like, this shoe saved my life because like I could not run any other shoe. They all hurt my feet. I had major issues. This is the only shoe that works for me. Some people are the opposite. They're like, it's so different. It's really not for me. But I'll tell you, man, you can't say they're not differentiated. And by the way, the other brand that's just fire right now in running shoes and has been for 8 years straight is Hoka
Hoka.
One, right? And that, yeah, Hoka, and they're under the Decker brand. It's not a pure play. Honestly, they seem to be doing as well or even better than On Running. But if you invest in Decker, like you can't ignore their primary, product, which is Uggs, right? And so that it's a whole nother beast. You can't just
Right.
it's not a pure play on Hoka. So it's a little more complex. Here you can have just a pure play on running. I like it, guys. I'm gonna own this. I think I'm gonna own this company. Like I see myself owning this like for the next couple of years. I think this is the type of thing that takes a couple years for like the market to be like, wow, they're just completely crushing it, and they're just getting bigger and bigger, expanding to other states, getting bigger in other countries. Um, short term, recession could kill it, right? Short term, supply chain could kill it. Inflation could kill it. Long term,
Yeah.
I don't see anything getting in the way of On Running, man. I think it's going to be the next thing. I really do.
Yeah,
I think it's already
I'm
the
the
next
same.
thing. I think it's already reached that status that people want it. It's already like a desirable shoe brand. And I think they're executing really well. I love it. It's unfortunate that we're in the situation that we're in right now, because or else I'd be buying it.
Well, but is it, Jordan? Because if we weren't in the situation we're in right now, On Running would probably not have had the 50% haircut that it did, right? So
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a great
if you
point.
can
That's a great point. And if
if
you
you
were
could
buying it, a month ago at the near lows, then I think you did really well for yourself. And you'd probably still want to hold on to it. I think but right now, I just don't know if this is the timing's right.
Yeah, it's a market thing. So, like, listen, if I'm going to be in the market, and I am in the market, even though I'm hedged,
Yeah.
I have to pick where I want to be, and I want to be in a company like On Running, where I
Right.
believe I have really good visibility relative to other companies, because other
Yeah, I think
companies,
if you
at
want to
least
own
On
this,
Running,
and you want to pair it off with something, like if you want to be short retail, or if you want to, be short something else as a pair trade, then maybe that's a decent thing to do.
that
I can't be 100% long
that's
right
fair.
now.
Jordan, that's fair. I mean, that's fair. But if you're going to be, if you have a long portfolio, okay, if let's say your long portfolio is only 50% of your portfolio, so the other 50% is cash or hedge or something else, you have to pick
Right.
stocks that are going to be in the long portfolio. And for me, within my long portfolio, I have to own On Running because it's one of a handful of brands that right now is expanding. And I see the brand expanding for like the next 6 to 8 quarters. Like I don't see this
Yeah.
stopping for the next 6 to 8 quarters. Like the thing that everyone says on TikTok, if you watch them, is well, everybody said I should look at either On Running or Hoka. Like every girl's like On Running or Hoka, On Running or Hoka. Like that's the whole thing. It's like those are the two brands that if you're when you talk about what running shoe should I get, that's like, oh, you got to get On Running or you got to get Hoka or you got to get one or the other. Like those are the things that come up over and over again with like millennial, Gen Z kind of social sharing
Yeah.
and recommendations because it's like the hot thing
Right.
to go get right now.
Now
I
the
don't think
thing
it's
is,
going to
I don't think
stop.
you're buying a pair of Hokas just to hang out in. To where Ons, you are. So like you
Yeah,
get both crowds with On Running. To where
agreed.
with the Hoka, the shoes look ridiculous. You're not going to just wear them hanging out.
Yeah.
You wear them because they're really good running shoes. The Ons could go either way. Both crowds like them.
I'm not a runner, but
Eh,
I
eh,
have ons, and that's what I wore walking around New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dave, like I haven't actually worn mine out of the store, or like, what do you think? Are they super comfortable or what?
I mean, I think they're comfortable for a running style shoe. Now, I do alternate back and forth between my ons and my Hey Dudes. I go hiking in ons, not the hiking version, just the running version, and then I also go hiking in Hey Dudes, and those are the worst because they get gravel in them so easily because they're just like loose fit. But yeah, I think the ons are a very comfortable version of a more structured shoe than the ridiculous Hey Dudes.
Okay, so can I tell you the ones I bought and I'm obsessed with them already a little bit because they have the elastic laces on these ons, and so
Yeah,
you don't tie them;
mine
they're
do
just
too.
elastic,
Yeah,
and
they
they have
slide
like a
right
little
on.
knot,
Yep.
and they slide on, and they like wrap around your ankle. Honestly, I love my Adidas NMDs. That's what I've been kind of wearing for years. I have like a bunch of pairs. And these might be even more comfortable than my NMDs in certain ways. So like that's
I
why I
don't
was
think they
like, hey,
look
I'm
as good
I'm
as
gonna
your
get a pair.
NMDs though. That's the one drawback is I think that the colorways, the kind of awkward large holes on the side that it looks kind of like a running
Uh,
shoe, where
it,
NMDs just look
it's
like a
it's
street shoe.
they have their own style, and I'm not sure that I love them, but everybody else seems to really like it a lot. It's a very distinctive style, and that's the thing. They kind of own that sole, Dave, and it's
Yeah,
so distinctive. It's like the Prada red soles, right? Like that's that like in the sideways holes in these soles on these on running shoes. It's so distinctive. I think it's huge for the brand. Also, Jordan, they make some killer shirts and like shorts and stuff too. Like I was in the store and I saw them. I was like, they have their own little Lululemon kind of vibe going on with like a lot of their apparel. And I think when you have a brand that people are obsessed with as On Running, I think they're going to do really well in apparel too. So I think that's actually a great place for the brand.
Yeah, maybe. I just don't
I
see
like
them
it, man.
doing well in apparel unless they do like stores everywhere like Lulu has, right? And so, they don't have that footprint right now
yeah.
that Lulu has,
The New York store is definitely a flagship. It's not
right?
designed to be like a normal shoe store. It's a
And
big
like, do they really
experience.
want to come in and try to compete with Lululemon and like freaking Athleta? I don't
Um,
know. I don't think so.
Well, no, I don't think so. And their stores, Jordan, are really all about. I mean, here's the cool thing about their
Yeah.
stores. They have like every single shoe there, and it's like a wall. It's just a huge wall, and you have to wait in line. You get a sales rep. They take you to the back. They bring out all the shoes, and they pull out cubbies of every shoe, and they're like sitting behind them on the wall. And most of the time, they might or might not even have them in stock. But then you order them online. Like the guy gave me his cell phone and said, "Hey, we don't have this here, but we do have them in stock online." He pulled it up on his phone, handed me his phone. It was kind of awkward, and I just bought it on his iPhone, which was weird. But he's like, "Yeah, this is it. This is how we're going to do
That's
it
a weird
because
way to operate a store.
it's kind of a weird way to operate a store, Dave, but honestly, it's like I think people are becoming so comfortable with once you figure out what you want that exact colorway in that shoe, just tell me, just send it to my house in 3 days and I'm good. Like I don't need to walk out of the store with that shoe. And the first thing they do when you get in the store is they just get your size figured out to figure out what size you want, what style you're comfortable with, and then you kind of pick a colorway from there. And then if it's in stock, they'll sell it to you in the store. If not, you just order it online, right? It's kind of like Bonobos. Is that how you say it? Like how they
Bonobo?
innovated that model. Bonobo, yeah. Anyway, man, that's it. By the way, I am here in New York. I will be at the Bleecker Street, 65 Bleecker Street, Catching Ice Cream store this afternoon, like starting in probably 30 minutes, going until 5 or 6 p.m. tonight, and I'll probably be there this evening as well. So if
Are
any
you
of
mixing ice
y'all are
cream,
in
Chris?
town, what?
Are you mixing ice cream?
I did it one time. I don't know that anyone's going to want me to throw and chop and fold their ice cream. We have better people
If
for
I
that.
was
But
there, I
I'm
would
like,
only want you to do it. I would say I will
well,
only purchase this ice cream if Chris Camillo makes it.
I'm the hype man. I'm on the street, basically pulling people into the store. I'm like
Do you get a sign
literally
to
on
spin
the
on the
street.
street yet?
If I had one, I would spin it. I don't. I just kind of stand there and like yell at people and tell them to come eat ice cream, and then I tell them the whole story, pull them in the store, get them all jazzed up. I kind of love it. It could be my full-time job. If I lived in New York, I would just hang out in the street in front of our ice cream store, and just pull people in all day, and be very
I,
happy doing that. But
I
I have to
like
go
the
home.
comments that are coming in about the way you purchased your On running shoes. Did you get to keep the phone? Was one of the comments. You also just gave away your credit
No.
card information because the guy probably didn't even work there.
He
So
probably
we'll
does
see if
have
those
my
shoes
credit card
show up, but
information.
you might get some extra charges you weren't expecting.
I think it was kind of weird, quite honestly. I was like, shouldn't I do this on my phone, or if I'm gonna do it on your phone, shouldn't you have a credit card machine that I swipe versus like me manually entering? Dude, I don't care. Whatever. He could. My credit
Just
card.
keep an
It's
eye on your
their
statements.
problem.
You might want to just log into the bank, see what's going on there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good advice in
Totally.
general.
Totally. Totally. Um. Anyway, no, I
I
gotta go.
did
I gotta
chop
go.
and
I gotta
fold
go
ice
do the
cream when I
store.
was there. I did toss it. My initial toss, I chose the most difficult one to chop and fold, and it didn't quite hold together. And I tossed it across the room, and it hit the cup. But when it hit the cup, it exploded. So you may not want me to
Um.
toss your ice cream.
Well, but by the way, guys, we are launching in a few weeks New York's first ice cream experience where you could actually come in our shop, make the ice cream balls yourself, chop and fold them and throw them yourself. No one's ever done that before. If you have any corporate events that you want to book, birthday parties in New York, date night, whatever, reach out to Catch an Ice Cream on our website, catchanicecream.com, right? Catch Nice Cream is how it's really spelled out, right, Dave?
Yes,
Catchnicecream.com.
catchnicecream.com is the website. Catch an ice cream.
Well, we bought catchingice.cream.com, so that should be redirected by now.
I just like catch
Anyway,
ice cream.
yeah.
All right. That's it. Thanks for
Hey,
watching. We're done
by the
money.
way, Dave, one more thing. We have next week, we have a really interesting show coming next week where we're going to talk about Dave and I's NFT purchase that we made that will shock you. That is coming next week, so stay
Yes.
tuned. Hit
I have a feeling
the
Jordan may not even
the alert
show up
button.
for that one. He's just like, I'm out.
Wait, what?
Our big NFT episode that we're going to be talking about the
Oh, I'm a
shocking
hard pass on
NFT that
that.
Chris and I bought.
Yeah, I have something else to do.
All right, guys.
All right, we're done money. We'll see you very soon.